But I do have a little bit of a problem. This one's just a hair over. But when you get down here, you can see the difference. Alright, so we're on to the next one. If you watched the last video, got the table saw in, did a lot more setting up than I anticipated, but I'm pretty sure it's ready to go. It's not perfect, it still needs some more love. It's gonna do what we need it to do. We threw in this insert, again, not perfect. It's gonna do the job. But here's what we have to build. I'm finishing a basement right now. I have to account for, what'd they say, 319 sets of these guys. So 1, 2, that's a set. And I've measured the boxes, measured the little circle containers. I accounted for maybe like a 1/16 of an inch between each, which should be plenty to account for 26 across an 8-foot span. So there's 319 of these, and they go over on this second shelf too. So I gotta make 2. And then there's 159 of these guys. That was fun trying to figure out what would look best. And this is the actual basement. That's the actual footprint of it. And the shelves are going to be black. So it's going to look sharp. So I'm just going to jump right into it. Before we get into the time lapse, got the table saw set up. That's going to act as my outfeed. And I kind of got like a third hand. And this one should carry a bulk of the weight. So much better than trying to use that tiny little guy down there. There's absolutely no way I could make this many cuts this quickly. So that went pretty well. The cuts were pretty accurate. I bound it up on that first cut because I think this setup that I got going on isn't the greatest. It just kind of works for now. I'll build something later. I might build some cabinets that are the same height as the table saw. That way I can roll them against the wall if I don't need them, and then I can bring them back over here, and that'll be my in feed. And then my outfeed might stay where it is, but it'll still, I'm putting everything on wheels. This shop is way too small for anything to be stationary. I'm happy with what I got. I got 14 pieces of 3 1/4, and then 6 pieces of 4-inch. The 4-inch will be the border. The 3 1/4 will be the shelves. A little way to check yourself is whatever scrap you're left over with when you're cutting a big 4x8 sheet like that, is if you measure one end of the scrap, you go, so I got 1 inch and a 1/16, and then go to the other end, it's about 1 3/8. But 3/8 of an inch over, well, a little less than 3/8 of an inch over the course of 15 cuts. You divide 3/8 by 15. Not bad. I'm happy with that. I'm good. Once I get a new fence, that should go away. But now I need to go get my track saw and cut the back panel to size, and we'll take it from there. So I got them all. I got the panels cut to size with the track saw. I need a new blade, because you end up with all this nice little tear out. But you're not going to see it. It's all going to be black, and really it's pretty minimal. And this might be the back side, since the blade was cutting up, and like these two faces are going to be really nice because they're touching. So, and that's kind of why I opted to do them both at the same time. But I do have a little bit of a problem. So like this is the factory edge right here. Over here, doing those 4x8 sheets and relying on yourself, your own strength to do it, is not ideal. I got it pretty close. So this one's definitely 37.5. This one's just a hair over. Not a big deal, but when you get down here, You can see the difference. Instead of running through the table saw again, this one's good. I must have done this one really nice. I'm just gonna take a flush trim bit and go all the way down it to trim this top piece. So now both of these are the same size. They're at the correct size, 94.5 by 37.5. That'll give room for the sides to go on and cover up the edge of this plywood. And then those other pieces will be the shelf in between. All right, we're gonna start edge banding. We're gonna be using just some stuff off the shelf at Home Depot. It's supposed to be oak, matches oak. It's as simple as that, really. And it just comes with some glue on the back of it. I don't know if you can see it. And it just takes some heat to apply it. I would definitely recommend doing this. It just makes it so much easier. You'll see it, it'll try to coil up by itself. Actually, watch. Here we go. Like a spring. So with the other end attached to something, it makes it a lot easier. But you just pull it down. Give yourself some overhang, and then it's supposed to overhang on either side of a 3/4 piece. I think this is 7/8, so you're supposed to have like an 1/8 inch over here, maybe a 1/16 and a 1/16, whatever. It's supposed to have some overhang on all four sides, even down there. You just put it up there, make sure your overhangs right here, and you kind of, I found that it's best to just kind of pin it. Ow. It works fast. Like, that's already done, and I can let go. But just do the end. I like to just get that nice and stuck, and you work your way down. And with this hand, you're just making sure that you still have your overhang on either side, because this thing will try to do this on you. Go slow. You don't have to go too slow. You can kind of go about this speed. Move that cord. You can go about this speed on the first pass, just to get it stuck. You're just trying to get it straighten out to where you want it. See how it wants to go off to the side? And if it creases up like that, that's okay. It'll flatten out with the heat. The heat will make this thing do whatever you want it to an extent. And then when you get to the end, again, kind of press it down. Make sure that, overhang that a little bit. But then you just press down, and you kind of just break it off. You could use a knife, but you don't need to. And then I like to do just one final good old pass on it that makes sure everything's really stuck down there. Because you can see what I already did. That's super tight. And when I sand that, it's going to look like it's a solid piece of oak without the price tag. To check it, you can kind of if you try to flick it up and it moves, then you know you need to put some more heat back on it, like a little bit. It's flexing just a little more than yep. So I need to put a little more heat there. So that one's gonna cool down completely, and this one I already did, and I'm just using a flush trim bit on my router, and it's set to like almost nothing, because this stuff's so thin. You don't want it sticking way down here. It'll mar up the edge right here. And then do it 20 more times. I'm done. It is way too cold out here. Too cold for my liking. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14, and then 6. And we got our panel. We got the edge band on. One other thing I wanted to say about the edge banding, they have other species of edge banding too. You don't have to use red oak. If you have poplar plywood, say that 5 times fast. If you have poplar plywood, they have poplar edge banding. Same with maple. You just gotta find it. I think Home Depot only had oak. I wanted to use oak anyway. I know we're gonna paint it, but I like seeing the grain on it. You know it's made out of wood. Something about it, I just like it. It gives it a little bit of character. It's not just like this boring, flat, painted thing. It feels like it's like a little bit higher end. Even my nose is like go inside. Alright. I'll be back out here tomorrow, and we'll get this thing assembled. So catch me on the next video, and you guys have a good night. Alright, bye.